So a while back, you teased possibly playing a second Marvel character, maybe Black Bolt. Is that still on the table?
It's up to you guys. It's up to you guys. Or is that your camera?
No,
it's up to you guys. It's up to you guys. It's up to you guys. Black Bolt. Well, let's just say it would be funny. It'd almost be like a real funny practical joke on Vin for Marvel to give him a character that says 3 monosyllabic words and then follow up with another character that says nothing.
Yeah, right.
Crazy? You saw that. Stay with me.
Thank you.
My pleasure, man.
So, first off, man, it's good to see you. So, you guys have come a long way in this franchise.
You have, man. You the man.
No, Tyrese, you the man. You just being nice to me. So you guys have come a long way in this franchise, going from like the streetcar racing evolution to this sort of like, you guys are almost superheroes now. Do you think the family could take on the Avengers, just go toe to toe with them?
I think we could.
Yeah.
I was just on with Robert Downey Jr. 2 days ago, and I told him that I got special powers in this movie, and we need to come see him. So no, I'm just playing. Yeah, but I think, you know, it's all entertainment, man. It's all entertainment. And I think if you buy a bucket of popcorn, especially large with the extra butter, if you buy a big bucket of popcorn and you don't finish your popcorn by the end of the movie, you was not entertained. Oh. And, you know, they can say cheesy or over the top or what is that, and blah, blah, blah. The question is, did you get there with your family, friends, and loved ones? Were you entertained? And are you now a part of the second generation of fans that's been rocking with us? Right. You know, when I see dudes go to the theater with their kids, man, you be like, wow, we really been doing this for a minute. Because now it's the second generation of folks showing up to the theater with their kids, and I love it.
I've killed a lot of popcorn watching these movies. Last question, I'll let you go. Any update on Green Lantern? Because we really want to see that.
I don't have any updates. I just hope they call me.
I hope so too.
I hope they call me. It's a role that I'm very passionate about doing. But right now the focus is this Morbius film. I play a character named Agent Stroud, Agent Simon Stroud, opposite Jared Leto. It's the Spider-Man spin-off franchise, Morbius, Venom, Marvel, and I'm just excited to be able to be a part of this franchise. I love the Fast and the Furious, but I've been wanting to be a part of another franchise because the last time I was in a franchise was Transformers, which is not too shabby.
On a scale of 1 to next question, how tired are you of the joke where people can't see you on the internet?
I'm never tired of that. That entire joke familiarized with me with a brand new generation of people, which has extended the ability to do what I love and call it work. I don't ever, if you do this entire interview and everyone in the comments is like, I don't know why he's pointing a mic to thin air. I think it's funny, and I never get tired of hearing it. I just don't ever take yourself too seriously out there, guys.
So the very first Fast and Furious movie came out back before you were even in WWE. How surreal is it now that you're a part of the franchise, you know, almost 20 years later?
Well, the most surreal thing is I've always been extremely involved in cars. And this was a movie where it got its beginnings from embracing car culture and tuning culture. And the battle of like muscle versus import, and then has morphed into still having its roots in car culture, but keeping obviously the focus on family as well. So it's just as rewarding as someone saying like, hey, you're going to be in the WWE. Like, you never think that that's going to happen ever. And when you do, you certainly want to work hard and do your best, and there's a sense of professionalism, but there's also a sense of like pancake-eyed kid going like, what is all this? Because it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that look. Now talking about that we've had the evolution of the franchise where they're almost superheroes now. It's gone from streetcar racing to like superheroes. So do you feel like the family at this point could actually take on the Avengers?
So this is what I find brilliant about the Fast franchise, and this is truly a testament to the Fast family, the people around the world who love these movies. They walk in to see these movies with a sense of family and a sense of fun. And you're right, over the course of the eight installments, soon to be 9, they're superheroes without capes. But it's okay, because we've slowly like worked into that, It started out with unbelievable car stunts and then unbelievable action stunts and then a combination of both, and then like, what can you do next? So because of the foundations and because you care about the characters, they've literally been able to create superheroes without costumes. And I like, that's impossible. And now people expect it. So it's cool. Like, they've crafted their way into being a movie about this mythical stuff, but it's still also very practical. They're still real human beings interacting. So they don't need comic book folklore, which is not a bad thing. I'm a fan of I'm filming Suicide Squad right now, so it's not like that's a negative. But to have the foresight to craft that and have the audience not only believe it but expect it, that's so unique.
Speaking of Suicide Squad, you just brought that up. Are you pretty excited about keeping the peace in that?
I'm excited about being part of it.
You're so good. You're so good.
Filming it right now.
Are you?
Yeah.
I didn't know it. I thought it had wrapped.
They gave me the week off for the WrestleMania of football. That's why I'm here.
So, are you going to be at WrestleMania this year? And if you are, who's like a dream opponent that you would have?
I hope I live in Tampa. The event's in Tampa, so I will be there. If I'm asked to do anything, that's beyond my control. I don't dictate terms, and that's not something I've ever done. So if they ask me to do something, great. I've never gone by the, like, hey, I would love to have a match with this guy or this guy. I always just show up, and I'm grateful for any moment that's given to me. And whether I come down to rap or I'm a fan, I've been in the first match, the middle, and the last match, and they're all just as rewarding to me.
Awesome. Well, last question. I know this is a little far ahead in the future, but is there any chance maybe in Part 10 that we might get a proper fight between Jacob and Hobbs now that you and The Rock are in the same franchise?
Well, I will say this, and man, it's amazing the parallels that Fast runs with WWE. In Fast, never say never.
Very few franchises have made it all the way to a Part 9. So,
no, that's sick,
isn't
right?
that great?
Yeah.
So how far do you guys see this going? Like, do you see an end in sight?
I think eventually it'll reach a level where you pass the baton on to a younger generation. And that's what I think, everybody's getting pregnant for.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah. Well,
I think eventually it will.
Well, considering where you guys started off at with the evolution of the franchise, you guys were originally street racers, and now you're practically superheroes, right?
Yeah. We're dancing that thin line between sci-fi and action movie. Like, literally, I think we crossed it a long time ago, but anyway.
Do you think at this point that the family could take on the Avengers?
I would love that. By the way, I hate the way the business world works because everything's about branding, property, copyrights, and all this stuff. But if they could put all of that drama and bullshit aside just to make great content and great storytelling for the people, we should be mixing Marvel and DC characters. We should be mixing action movies and sci-fi movies, because I mean, after a while, you get, you kind of run out of shit to do, right?
Yeah, you're making me so excited right now. My head's gonna explode.
I get excited too, but when you talk to studio heads, they start hitting, it'll never happen, and I'm just like, bleh. We need like a Trump as a studio head to just disrupt everything.
Well, I think you're one of the few actresses who hasn't appeared yet in a Marvel or DC property. Speaking of, is there anybody that you would like to play?
In the Marvel, you know what? This is the thing. There aren't a lot of females. And so, I need edge because I'm not square and I can't play square really well just because I wouldn't like it. It would suck. Catwoman is, I think, the closest. The DC Catwoman character. I like her because she's got an edge to her. But I'm quite bored, actually, because these are old ideas written by men of what women are. I think the closest to a really, really great character is Wonder Woman and what they did with that. Yeah. Because, he was just surrounded by women, and they actually gave him input for that project. And so I think that he actually genuinely cared about what he was doing. I think a lot of the stuff is like hypersexualized stuff for guys, male fantasies in the room while they're drawing and stuff. Right. And so in the stories, most of the characters, I'm just like, wah, wah. Because it's either you're almighty powerful and you can beat everybody up, and I'm like, that's boring, or you're limited. Right. Incredibly limited.
The Fast and Furious franchise it's crazy that it's like to the 9th sequel, or 8th sequel, but Part 9. not a lot of franchises get that high. How far do you see this going?
As far as it will go. I mean, I love being a part of them. I feel like as long as we can keep satisfying our fans, let's keep making them.
Would you rather them go back to their street racing kind of origin, or do you like pushing it so far that it's going to get to like the moon?
Both. I'd like to have a bit of both. I would like to go back to, you know, practical stunts and street racing where we're actually in the cars doing the stunts. That would be really fun to get back to the down and dirty, nitty gritty.
So with the evolution of the franchise, you guys are practically like superheroes at this point. Do you think that you could take on the Avengers? Could the family just go toe-to-toe with them right now?
You know, that would be really fun. That would be a good battle. I think we could because we've got the street smarts. Yeah. So yeah, why not?
Last question, and it's just because I'm a personal big fan of The Faculty. I love The Faculty. Was there ever any talk of you guys coming back and visiting those characters again?
You know, I would love it, and I hit up Robert a lot, like on Instagram, hoping he'll see, and I'm always like, Robert, come on, like let's. But so far, no. But I think that would be really fun.
So I've been a big fan of you forever, but one of my favorite songs that you did was when you teamed up with Justin Bieber and did Baby, right? Yeah, so I got a question about that. What do you think of Bieber's music these days now that you've seen him grown as an artist?
It's great, man. He just came out with a new single, you know, The Yummy. I think I love it. My kids love it. So there you have it, man. He's continued to evolve, and I think that's the most important thing about being an artist, especially when you start as a kid.
Well, being a big fan, man, when we going to get the 10th album?
Is that 10th album will be coming out this year, end of this year. Working on it now, man.
So very few franchises make it all the way to part 9, and we know that you're already attached to part 10.
Am I?
I thought you were. That was the word on the street. Am I wrong? Okay, so if you are attached to part 10, is that where we're going to see the franchise end, or is that how far things have gotten planned along so far?
I can only really speak for part 9. I feel like, you know, when I left, I thought I had given all I could, and it was through time around, you know, for the 2013 when I left. Fans from around the world, when I would travel, they would stop me and share with me what they liked, what they missed, and I kind of just filed it away. And then one day 2 years ago, I woke up with an idea for this new chapter, and here we are, you know. And so I'm excited that this franchise still has more to give. I feel like we're not retreading, we're not repeating, we're always pushing ahead. And in this one, we're really taking the theme of family, but exploring it through the lens of bloodlines. That's something we've never done before, and something I'm really excited about.
And I'm assuming that's with Jacob, John Cena's character?
Yes.
Okay, now I know that this is also looking a little far ahead, but is there any chance you can like wink or something at me? Are we going to see The Rock and John Cena have a proper fight on screen?
You've seen them fight on screen, haven't you?
No, but together, like not at WrestleMania.
I feel like tonally, thematically, this is the beginning of a new chapter. Like I said, I don't take anything for granted. I'm giving my all for this film, and this is a new chapter of the saga. And if we're lucky enough to earn another one, then I will probably go in and kind of explore that.
Okay, so considering where the Fast and Furious franchise came from, kind of coming from like street car racing and to where they've gone now, and sometimes people compare them to superheroes. Do you think the family at this point could go toe-to-toe with the Avengers?
Yeah, I think, look, I think that what makes our characters special is the humanity underneath them. You know, we might be pushing them, we might be pushing physics, but at the end of the day, what drives this franchise and all the action scenes are the humanity with these characters. I think action scenes are nothing if the characters are meaningless, you know, and so I think that's something that we're very proud of, that every punch you see thrown, every elbow, hours of conversation.
One quick question is, how did you feel about the reactions that everybody had with Game of Thrones in the finale?
How did I feel about it? I mean, obviously, like anything, people are going to like it and people aren't, and like that's fine. Like I really was proud of it. I felt that the guys achieved something so unbelievable on television, and I know how hard everybody worked and how much it meant to everybody. So, and I watched it and was like blown away. But you know, I understand people weren't, you know, as taken with it, and I'm probably biased, but yeah, I did have it did put a bit of a bee in my bonnet when people were like trying to sign a petition. I just sort of thought that was kind of silly. I was, you know, you're allowed to not like it and that's fine, but like any artist, they create work, and that's what they've chosen to put out into the world, and you kind of just have to take it for what it is, and you know, it's fine if you don't like it.
Is this the first time you've ever hosted a red carpet for a trailer premiere?
Yes. Yes, it is the first. I like having a lot of firsts, actually, so this is good.
Yeah. This was crazy. Are you a big fan of the Fast and Furious franchise?
I am, of course. I've been with them for the whole ride. So
now that they're on part 9, like how far do you see it going until we come to an eventual end?
I don't know if I see an end in sight. It's very, very far in the distance.
Well, if we do keep going, would you like to see the franchise kind of go back maybe a little bit to their sports car roots, like racing, or are you more of a fan of the crazy? So what you guys want to see? You want to see the family go to outer space?
I would love that, actually, and I believe that they could do it right. Yeah. So I envision that happening, and I do think that they are so brilliant with how they handle this franchise that I could see them returning to like the bare bones, like real gritty car stuff. Yeah, I could see that.
Well, at this point, since they are practically superheroes, do you think that the family could take on the Avengers, just go toe-to-toe with Iron Man and Captain America?
Interesting. I'll let the fans decide on that one.